All right, it's 6 o'clock. This is the Fairgrounds Committee meeting. It is Thursday, October 3rd, 2024. It is 6 o'clock. Second item on the agenda is consider approving the minutes of the previous meeting, which was from September 5th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from September 5th.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the meeting minutes from September 5th. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. General agenda items for consideration. Fair?
All right, well, seems that we have done fairly well this year. I think last time I said we had some record beer sales, I think, for all the tents, which is great. One of the things that I did bring up to Rod in consideration of the fact that the rodeo had made their donation of the fence. The fair is offering to make a donation equal to $21,000 to the city because of the fact the city has helped us out in the past. So $21,000 could go for some of the improvements on the fairgrounds, be it the bathroom and whatnots. One of the things that we would like to suggest is, I understand people don't want gates on those fences, but we are looking to see if there's a possibility of putting removable gates. Reason being, we have been adamant about putting gates up for the fair because it's a safety issue for us and such. And we got a good dose of it. We had the scare. We could shut the gates, make sure that we can prevent people going in and out so we can take care of the situation that we had. Thus, also helping out with the animals for us and for the rodeo. Putting up barriers, those animals can go over it. I've got miniature goats that can jump a 5-foot fence without any hesitation. Steers can get over that stuff. And by putting up decorative stuff, removable stuff, you can, for those who are fearful that we're going to lock the whole thing up all year, they can be taken down and stored unless there's an event such as a fair that would like to have them put in. Just for that event, then once the event is over, they can be removed. Otherwise, like I said, the fair is offering up to $21,000 for anything that goes on the fairgrounds. But we are currently working on next year's fair, slowly but surely, but nothing much more than that to add.
Okay, thank you. George is excused absent today from the rodeo. Becky is excused. Move on to calendar of events. In the packet, we have some ATV racing coming up, Rick, at the end of October. The 150th celebration for Lincoln County on the 19th. Also, the winter races in January. So that's January and February.
Two each month.
Yep. So that's a positive. The grounds is getting more and more use.
I actually made a mistake with that. It's not snowmobile, it's all rubber tire.
Okay, yeah.
I just had snowmobile on the brain when I made the report.
Nope, that's fine. So it'd be ATV or quad and UTV
Yeah.
rubber tire. Right.
At least that's what the plan was.
Yep. And Mr. Bjorklund, myself, and City Administrator Akey met with Bo Benish and Tim English and had a very good meeting, and they have some great ideas for down there with the track and everything else, and looking forward to it. Very exciting.
They're a diamond in the rough for us.
Yep, they really are. Okay, next we'll review and discuss fees for the fairgrounds rentals. We had the rental schedule fees in there. What does the committee think? I don't know. I mean, I don't want to raise it so that we lose anybody, but I think they're fair the way they are.
How did our numbers come out for the year last year? Did the fairgrounds break even between expenses?
No.
How much did we lose?
We use part of the room tax to fund the grounds, it's tourism. I don't have the number in front of me, but I will get that for you.
Are you turning people away who say, how much does it cost to do this? They, oh, whoa.
The only ones you are like the 4-H or the Riders Club are always complaining that it's too much, but, correct, Rick?
Yeah, that's really the only ones that have a financial problem. They're just broke. They're always.
These fees are really cheap, aren't they, compared to other communities?
Our fees are very, very reasonable.
Yeah.
But if you put depreciation into the equation of a depreciation of a fairground, it would never make money. It just is never would happen.
And you look at it, it's kind of like our pool.
We want to see it used.
We want to see it used. We have it, we might as well use it, have it used. I mean, like Rick said, we're never gonna make money on it, so.
I mean, you could make hybrid budget type of things at the fairgrounds, depending on what you want to look at. But if you did a full financial spreadsheet on the fairgrounds, it's set in a small community, in a small town. It just will never make money if you put all of the numbers in.
I don't expect it to make money, and I'm happy running it in the red, as long as it's not making people say, well, I don't want to hold my event there because it's too much.
That
Right.
hasn't happened.
Okay, all right, that's my only question.
We're competitive. I've not seen one renter that's come and had a problem or complaint about the fee.
Okay.
And actually, when we met with Bo and Tim,
Yeah,
they thought it was very fair,
yeah.
so.
And also, you got to look at the amount of money coming into the community, period. The millions that come in with just the rodeo and the fair is ridiculous. So it's not just the city itself, it's everybody that's benefiting from it. And that's what the purpose is.
In my mind, I think we should leave them the way they are.
I'll make a motion to accept the rates for 2025.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to accept the rates for 2025 for the fairgrounds rental.
The only thing I don't see is the camping fees. Is there a separate camping fee?
We're
We're working on
We'll
that.
establish that over the winter here.
Because we're adding more, right?
We're
Or the
opening,
proposed-
we're opening a,
proposed, yeah.
opening a campground period finally. We didn't have a campground down there.
That we rented.
Oh,
It was just for we had the spots for the people, that participants of the rodeo and the participants of the fair, basically,
okay. All right.
right?
Yes.
So,
One or two other events to
right,
tuck in over the heads.
I think we were looking $25 to $30
a night,
a
yeah.
night, but we'll see what other,
Power and water and sewer all there?
in bathroom, yeah.
And it's comparable with
Tomahawk.
the state.
Cheap.
All right.
Moving in.
Hearing no further discussion,
2 days.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have discuss and consider the trees on Memorial Drive and the fence installation. Rod?
Does it pay to waste my breath?
Yes.
I'll pass these pictures around. I took them the other day. There are dead trees down there. They are right by a three-phase line. We do not allow pine trees in our boulevard. It does shadow or shade Memorial Drive in the wintertime. I just hate to put the fence up and have some damage from falling trees, and I know the ramifications. I hear you loud and clear. I just think now is the time to remove them before we put the fence in.
And I think too, didn't we have an incident where well, I've mowed down there and it's a pain in the butt. But didn't we have some debris that struck somebody from down in that area as well? When they were mowing? At some point that, I mean, it's just nasty stuff down there, is my point. It would be better to,
Are these all dead, more or
No,
less?
they're not.
all?
They're mature trees. They're starting to die. You can see that one in there.
Yep.
You know, the other day when the feed mill had that incident and the three-phase went down, it cost businesses money, and I think it's time to do it, so.
I'm trying to find the pictures on my phone of when the previous administration did
I
a lot of
know,
clear
I
cutting.
know.
And one of the stories that was told is those roots were getting away. Any minute now, they're going to come down. And I picture those roots, and they're as big as a Chrysler. And those trees are well in there. I also think that if you do it, you're going to get public outcry. And you could say, well, you can educate them, but we asked you to do that for the Beaumont appraisals. We got our asses kicked for that. So I think by doing something like this, it stands out to the community, and they don't understand why we're doing it. It looks like crap, especially when you don't have a firm plan in place to replace them. I believe you can clear cut some of those trees out of there. If there's a dead tree, if there's a tree in danger of falling, go ahead and get out of there like you should with any other. But to just knock them all down because we can, it doesn't make sense to me. And again, people feel very strongly about doing changes like that, especially to trees. So that's my opinion, that if you have to clear some out because of a certain spot with the fence or because of the condition of the tree itself, then that's what you got to do. But just to knock them all over because we could, it doesn't make sense.
it also comes down to perception. The trees that were on the north side of the fairgrounds did cause a problem during the wintertime. As, you know, we had a number of accidents, a number of problems up there. Taking the trees down was a great alternative. It was how it was depicted in social media and stuff like that that caused the problem. Okay, we can, you know, if we look at the fact that, like Rod put up, you know, that power line, if it gets hit, and George tried to say it last time we were in a meeting, that would wipe out power to the northern half. I mean, so let's say we selective cut, but yet we leave a tree up there or whatever, and the tree comes down, you know, is this group going to be blamed for it or whatever, because God forbid we tear down trees?
Dude, let's knock them all down in the city then, because you have trees all over that could take out a power line. Let's start cutting them out.
But that's going,
I agree with you, Gus. I mean, we'll do what we can. We'll take the ones down that are needed. I just thought it was a good time to, there's kind of a hump there. It's a good time to get everything graded properly and replant some of the stuff. And I know you guys know the story along 6th Street. That's when we redid 6th Street, put curb and gutter in and everything else that following year. So we wanted to get those roots out of there so that it wouldn't be under curb and everything else. No, I have no problem leaving it in there. We'll take out what we need to take out. And I just think it's the time to do it, but see what you guys think.
I actually agree with, go ahead.
As sitting on that side and sitting on this side, I'll say it over and over again, we do a poor job of explaining ourselves to the public. And now when something like that happens, we have social media that allows us to be blasted, and I was one of the ones that blasted people in the past on there. And it allows people to do that, and because we don't explain ourselves, and especially a previous administration did not, well, it's what I chose, that's what we're gonna do. That's what caused us a lot of harm to the city. And I'm not gonna get into other things, but that's my opinion. I'm sorry, Mr. Lass.
No, that's okay. I think those, anybody that's had pines in their yards knows how dirty they are. And how much, you know, every time a limb dies and the wind blows, you got damage and you're just cleaning up a mess. So for those red pines, right, that are there, I thought it was a bad choice. Whoever planted them many years ago. I say we take them down, we put our fence up, and then with an agreement that we're going to go back in with some, I don't know, red maples or whatever.
Like we did along the
Right,
6th Street.
right. And I don't think those red pine trees are an attractive tree. I think they're a very old and dirty tree. So my vote would be, if we're making a motion on it tonight, would be to take them all down, get the fencing up, and then put in some beautiful, nice hardwood trees. So
is that a motion?
if you want that a motion, I make a motion that we do remove the red pines and follow up with the fencing and replanting of hardwoods after that.
Are we allowed to make a second then, or?
Yeah.
Yep, I'll make a second.
Have a motion and a second to remove,
Yes, I do.
Oh.
I'm waiting for you to say discussion,
Oh.
but
yep, motion and a second to remove the red pines on the Memorial Drive portion of 6th Street for the fence. Any discussion?
my thoughts on it, as I say, I get both sides. You know, I think the city did poor communication in the past about taking down trees, getting flack for it. I also understand taking them down so that the roots don't interfere. They can't interfere with power lines and stuff. Instead of doing it tonight, voting on it, what if we make publication about it to the city to have them come to the meeting next month? If anybody has any issues, they can make public comment and we can make a better decision with more public input.
My only issue with that is, as you can see by our generous audiences at all these meetings, that they'd rather beat us up online and at the grocery store than come here and tell us something.
Yep,
That's
but at
true.
least it gives them an option. We were transparent ahead of time before we just made the vote and did it.
Well, I'm sorry, it was in the minutes from last month too, so, I mean, we brought it up for discussion, we brought it forward to this month.
We can
You know-
have Hallie put it off a month and have her put it out on
'Cause it-
social media that we're thinking about doing this and we're looking for feedback, and it doesn't even have to be at the meeting. We can, but it's kind of a hard way to, I won't say legislate, but are we going to take a poll on everything that we do? It's,
Yep.
yes, we should listen to the public. I'm not saying
Mhm.
that, but you guys were voted in to make decisions to where, I can live with it either way.
Okay, as of right now, we have a motion and a second to remove the red pines on Memorial Drive at the fairgrounds. Any further discussion? Clerk, I'm gonna ask for a roll call, please.
All right, who do I want to pick on first? Mr. Lass,
Yes.
Andrew Kaler,
Yes.
Mr. Michael Kaler,
No,
Mayor Haas,
No.
Mr. Becker,
Yes.
3-2.
Okay.
Passes.
make sure that the vote on those minutes is reflected on who voted where.
I will,
Thank you.
I will. I always put who voted.
We're gonna replant. I'll plant them myself.
And I think we'll still have Hallie put it out there on social
And
media.
this probably, I mean, if we want to take it to council and have a council vote on it, that's fine too.
Do you want to forward it to council?
Forward it to council.
Do you want me to put it
That's a
on?
controversial and-
This next meeting?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What is there, 20 pine trees there?
36.
Is there that many? Nice. Built a
On
log
our
cabin
property,
with
there's
that.
36.
Those trees ain't worth shit.
I know.
Every time you put a city tree for sales, nobody wants it.
All right, moving on. Campground, update and discussion. We had, well, I'll let you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
We had some work done in John and city staff have been working in the bathrooms down there. The block bathrooms, and the fence is straightened up from the county side, got it straightened up.
We are going to put the weave in a portion of the fence, maybe
Right.
an 8-foot section, just so everybody can see what it looks like.
Right.
And then we will put the rest in next spring. I don't think it pays to put it in and have it weathered over the winter. So we'll put a piece in just to kind of show everybody what it's going to look like.
Where is it gonna go?
All the way along the south line,
Oh, by
we're going to
the,
put a weave in that fence that's there.
over.
The county straightened it up and put the barbed wire back together, did a great job. City forces will be out there stripping the topsoil. There isn't a whole lot of topsoil there, but we'll be putting recycle base on for each spot there. There's 20 spots. And then we will be working on the registration system also.
We did get the license obtained at the
Yep, I
last.
think we reported that before.
Yep.
but Yep.
So. Any questions or anything on the update?
How many new ones we were talking about adding more?
It's just 20 right now.
Okay.
Just the 20
we're-
along.
20 now, but I mean, there was a discussion about adding more,
Well,
if I remember right.
if you do, then it kind of muddies the water of the campground for the license.
Oh, okay.
There may be an
Okay.
event exception. During the fair, they can camp wherever they want. That's a state exception. But even during the rodeo, they have to have yeah. Which we
Okay.
didn't really want to bring up, but got brought up.
Okay, monthly report, Mr. Bjorklund.
I'll try to make it fast. The snowmobile race is a misnomer. It's a rubber tire race, as I said before. Tried to give a little bit of a thumbnail on what conversation was about those 4 events. I'm really, that's really super, that there's a racing hunger to use the fairgrounds.
Mhm.
I think that would be very beneficial for the fairgrounds. I gave a synopsis of a meeting, and we've met a couple of times on the county's 150th birthday. That has changed a little bit. I sent out an email to the committee that just with a couple of the changes about the internal tables in the expo, what will happen, what won't happen, but essentially it's the expo will have some display tables for the sponsors and community groups, and the rest of the event will be from the barn, the big roll-up door of the barn going east,
Okay.
down on in the grass area. The 1880 reenactment of lumber camp won't happen. They're booked somewhere else, but that was actually just an add-on to the other activities anyhow. So Renee Krieger is doing a really nice job getting that organized from the county, and her county folks will be here on Friday prior to the Saturday event, putting up some cones for traffic.
Mhm.
Pretty straightforward. I tried to give an idea of that. If there's more information as it's coming up, I'll just keep that information coming.
Yep, appreciate it.
There's another auction on the 26th, the weekend after this. That auction will happen the same day as the Saturday during the day, and the Tim English's quad racing will happen in the grandstand on the same day.
Okay.
They coexist very easily. It's no problem. Other than that, I've always been a real cheerleader for Hal. We, for a couple of years, we looked for talent, and we got lucky when Hallie, when we all found Hal. She's just a super good talent. She's got a great acumen. We have a chance to do a transition now for her, to her, and I hope the committee looks favorably on that transition and helps make it happen. She's just a super, super good gal, good person. Gal is a bad word to use, young lady.
Okay, thank you. Adding on to that, is St. Francis gonna open for the 150th?
I doubt it because it's the same date as the chicken barbecue.
That's what I,
Yeah.
found that out at work. Right. Okay.
The attendance is an unknown factor.
St. John's is gonna have some small carnival there, but, so, okay. All right, consider entertaining a motion to place the monthly report on file.
So moved.
Second?
Have a motion and a second to place the monthly report on file. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Public comment period. Nothing? Date and time of next meeting will be tentatively November 7th at 6 o'clock. Probably be called a chair if there's not much on the agenda. We're not gonna have a meeting to have a meeting, so. Yeah, please. Next, we'll move on to closed session. The committee may convene into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statutes, Section 19.85, Sub 1, Sub C, to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. Discuss the fairgrounds manager position, contract terms, and related matters.
Make a motion to go into closed session.
A second.
Have a motion and a second to go into closed session. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Mayor Hess,
Aye.
Michael Kaler,
Aye.
Andrew Kaler,
Aye.
Mr. Lass,
Aye.
Becky's not here, Mr. Becker, and George isn't here. 5-0 to go in.
We are enclosed. Give Nathan a minute.